This is Boomer Life on CL 650.
Welcome back to the program. I'm Sterling Fox, joined in studio by Dr. Paul Zickler from YesWellness.com. And that's a website, friends. And Dr. Zickler blogs frequently and quite emphatically at YesWellness.com. And Dr. Zickler, I'm going to read this statement one more time, and then I'll let you have a good, clean bash at it. This is the report from January. So as I said, it's a 2015 report from the Wall Street Journal, looking at all these studies about supplements and vitamins and whatnot, and they conclude that supplements have little benefits in generally well-nourished Western populations, insinuating that vitamins and supplements are unnecessary for your health. Well, Dr. Zickler took to the keyboard and had a few things to say to the Wall Street Journal. Would you share them with us, please?
Well, when I read that, it was with a little bit of a giggle because, when you read the adjectives that they use in the Wall Street Journal, a well-nourished Western population.
Correct.
Well, especially from American, in terms of well-nourished and Western, Western population, that's an oxymoron. I mean, people are living now on processed foods, and we're not far behind them. But the Americans really are supporters of processed foods. If you just look at the restaurants.
Well, they're a little more into supersized than we are.
Yeah, supersized, and everything is packaged, and everything is processed.
Yes.
And so it was interesting, just in light of this, there was an article there was a CBC announcement last week that Kraft Velveeta cheese slices, the single cheese slices, was given the first emblem of a pediatric healthy snack emblem. So those little Velveeta cheese, and they can't put cheese on it.
Right.
It's a processed food product.
Right, exactly.
Because it doesn't fill the criterion of being a cheese. Mm-hmm. Yet they are the first ones to get the pediatric symbol of a good, healthy pediatric snack.
So basically, the Wall Street Journal blew it from your perspective by referring to us as a well-nourished society, because we're not.
Yes, we're not.
It's just that simple. From where you're sitting, we just aren't well-nourished.
Right.
We eat a lot, but we don't necessarily eat very well.
Exactly. We don't eat very well. So let's just dice that up a little bit. So it's well-nourished. Well, okay. If you buy your food from a general food store, and you really do like the green vegetables and fruits,
right?
Those fruits and vegetables that we used to eat wild way back had very many different kind of nutrients than what they do now. With our soils being overused, over-fertilized, with hybridization of plants, the produce that we're buying now in a conventional store, their nutrients and mineral contents is much less than they were.
Even though they look like they've always looked.
And they look super.
Yeah, they do.
They look
very
bigger,
pretty. Yeah.
They look shiny, and they all look healthy. But the actual nutrients in them is much less. And then if you think that, okay, that's people that are making those really good choices.
Sure.
But with people that are going to the grocery store and buying the frozen dinners and the frozen processed foods and all the processed chips, anything that's packaged is processed.
Right.
And so they're nutrient free. There's no nutrients in those. There's lots of stuff that'll make you full, but nothing to help you in terms of your health.
So is it safe, and this is a layman here, is it safe to say that most processed foods are really all about salt, sugar, and fat?
Well, yeah, that's what you're getting. That's what you're getting. And so some of that sugar is okay, but if we're taking it into the amounts that they're getting them now, is way out of line. So just to go back to your statement then, so there isn't a well-nourished Western population. Generally speaking. And so if we make wise choices and get organic produce, and there are some organic produce that you should get organic, and some produce it doesn't really matter. It depends on how the vegetable and fruit is in absorbing the pesticides and herbicides. That's the next point in the well-nourished population.
Okay.
A lot of the produce that we're getting are being bombarded with herbicides and pesticides.
Yes.
Or maybe GMO with a lot of, like, say, our corn and a lot of our wheat, our GMO. And so those GMO products are being doused with chemicals to keep them healthy and producing at great volumes.
Right.
But they're adding toxins to our systems, and another reason that we need to take some minerals and multivitamins.
So basically what you're saying here, if I can paraphrase, is that all of these really wonderful looking foods, and I'm talking now about fresh fruits, not the packaged stuff, even though they still look as good as they always have since we used to grow them in our gardens as kids, they don't pack the nutritional value that we remember and know them for. We assume they still do, but the farming tactics and strategies have reduced the nutritional content to almost zero, thus creating the need for some kind of supplements in our daily lives.
Exactly.
Because those vegetables and such, they used to take care of all that biz for us.
Yeah.
Now they don't contain enough.
Yeah. And the last thing within that topic is our stressful lifestyle. Our stressful lifestyle and sedentary lifestyle, along with eating these processed foods, also is an added reason why you need to take multivitamins, because the hormonal balance is all haywire in making you produce more fat and muscle burn and storing fat. And so that's what the whole thing about chronic illness is. We're sort of diabesity, combination of diabetes, obesity, right? Is epidemic.
Do we need some sugar and some salt in our daily diet just because we're human beings and we need to have a little bit every day?
Yeah, certainly. If you look at sugars, it's starches and sugars. So if you're looking at carbohydrates, if you're average about 100 grams a day, we're looking at people eating 300, 500, 1,000 grams of carbs a day. Similarly, with salt, 200 milligrams. 200 milligrams is, if you look at the chicken noodle soup that you get, you look at that, it's huge amount of salt in one serving. Mm-hmm. You get that one serving, never mind having 2 or 3 bowls a day.
Right. Okay. So I guess, though, that where we get confused, and we'll talk about this more after the break, because there's a lot of confusion out there with respect to what is good for us and what the cutoff point is, and we seem to want to err on the side of, well, let's get a little more than we need rather than a little less than what we should need. Which is better?
I think getting the right amount is the right answer.
Trust a doctor to get it right. Huh? How annoying is that? This is Boomer Life, representing Yes Wellness. Our guest in studio, always a delight to have Dr. Paul Zickler with us. There's more still to come. Stay with us.